Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let me tell you, folks, looking at the latest happenings in our beloved town of Port Charles, my heart just goes out to our boy, Jason Morgan. Steve Burton always brings such a quiet, steady strength to the screen, doesn't he? After everything he has been through lately, especially that awful drawn-out stint locked up by the WSB, it is a downright miracle he is back walking the streets as a free man. I have been watching this man for more years than I can count on both hands, and seeing him separated from his boy, Danny Morgan, just tugs right at my heartstrings. A father's love is a powerful, undeniable thing, and when you take a man away from his flesh and blood, it changes him deep down in his soul. It hardens him, sure, but it also makes him realize what truly matters in this crazy, unpredictable world of ours. Asher Antonesen plays Danny so wonderfully, and you can just feel the weight of the lost time between them whenever they're on screen. Now, we all know Jason is a stand-up guy when it comes to protecting the people he cares about. He took the blame for shooting Ross Cullum, played by Andrew Hawks, just to keep young Rocco Falconeri safe from harm. Finn Carr is doing a great job with Rocco, by the way. That is exactly the kind of old-school, salt-of-the-earth loyalty you just do not see every day anymore. But let's be honest with ourselves. Taking the fall has cost Jason dearly. Sitting in that cold, unforgiving WSB facility, day in and day out, you just know his mind was racing. He was likely thinking about all the baseball games, the birthdays, and the quiet, everyday moments he was missing with Danny. It is a heavy burden for any man to carry on his shoulders, and I think we are going to see a much more cautious, guarded Jason moving forward as he tries to pick up the pieces of his life. This brings me to the whole complicated situation with Britt Westbourne. Now, Kelly Thibault is an absolute firecracker. There is no doubt about it. When she and Jason were together, there were definitely some intense sparks flying across our screens. But if you are asking me for my honest opinion, I think that ship has sailed, hit an iceberg, and sunk straight to the bottom of the ocean. Jason is a reasonable, level-headed man, but he is also human. He put his neck on the line for Britt, stepping right into her chaotic world because she insisted he prioritize her above all else. And where did it get him? Locked up and miles away from his son. I cannot help but feel that there is a deep-seated resentment brewing there. You just cannot erase that kind of sacrifice without some lingering bitterness. You know how it is in real life, friends. When someone's choices lead you down a rocky path that takes you away from your family, it is mighty hard to just forgive and forget. It is not entirely Britt's fault. I will give her that much grace. Jason made his own choices, as a grown man does, taking responsibility for the situation with Ross Cullum. But when you are sitting in a cell, missing your kid, growing up before your very eyes, you start pointing fingers in your mind. I honestly believe Jason looks back at that time as a classic case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He risked life and limb to help save her, and the price he paid was just too high. So, for those fans out there hoping for a grand romantic reunion between these two, I wouldn't hold my breath. That bridge is burned, and the ashes have washed away. And let us take a moment to tip our hats to the brave young woman who changed everything, Jocelyn Jacks. Eden McCoy has really grown into this role beautifully, hasn't she? If it were not for her stepping up to the plate and making a daring deal with the WSB, Jason would still be rotting away in that government black hole. It is quite a beautiful full circle moment when you stop and think about it. Jason has spent his whole life protecting Carly and her kids, acting as their guardian angel. And now his goddaughter is the one throwing him the ultimate lifeline. It just goes to show that what goes around comes around in the best possible way. Family looks out for family, and Jocelyn proved she has that fierce Spencer and Corinthos loyalty running right through her veins. So with Jason finally breathing free air again, the million-dollar question on everyone's mind is, who is going to capture the heart of our favorite enforcer next? We all know Jason is a highly complicated soul. You can't just pair him up with the girl next door and expect a simple fairy tale ending. He needs someone who understands the dark shadows he walks in, someone who isn't going to run for the hills the second trouble comes knocking at the front door. Finding the right match for a man known as Stone Cold is like trying to find a needle in a haystack in the middle of a tornado. There just are not that many leading ladies in Port Charles right now who can truly handle the heavy weight of being Jason Morgan's partner in life. Now, I have to bring up something that still makes me shake my head in pure disbelief. Do you all remember when the writers decided to test the waters by pairing him with Anna Devane? Lord have mercy. I almost dropped my coffee mug right on the living room rug when I saw that. Finola Hughes is a legend, absolute royalty on our television screens, but pairing her with Jason, it all happened when Jen Sidwell, played by Carlo Rota, came into the picture, and they were locked in that cell together. Next thing we know, they are sharing a kiss. I tell you, the uproar from the fans was louder than a thunderstorm in July. It just felt so incredibly wrong on so many different levels, and it left a bad taste in a lot of our mouths. Let's break down exactly why that was such a tough pill for us longtime viewers to swallow. Jason had one of the most profound, deeply emotional love stories of his youth with Robin Scorpio Drake. Kimberly McCullough and Steve Burton made absolute magic together on screen. Robin was the one who saw the man behind the brain damage, the tender heart behind the tough leather jacket. So to see Jason locking lips with Robin's own mother, good grief. It was enough to make your stomach turn. It is like a cardinal rule of romance, folks. You do not date your ex-girlfriend's mother. It was just a bridge too far, and I am so incredibly glad they seem to have pumped the brakes on that little romantic experiment. But what about Elizabeth Baldwin? Oh, sweet Liz. Rebecca Herbst has been the steady heart and soul of this show for decades. There is a massive, dedicated group of fans out there who will tell you until they are blue in the face that Jason and Elizabeth are true soulmates. And, they really have a solid point. They share so much rich history, so many quiet moments of deep understanding, and of course, they share their beautiful boy, Jake Weber. Hudson West is doing a fine job playing him, bringing so much emotion to the role. Whenever Jason and Liz are in a room together, you can just feel the heavy weight of all those years of shared love, loss, and heartbreak hanging in the air between them. A lot of folks genuinely believe that Jason and Elizabeth never really got a fair shake at happiness. The timing was always wrong, or someone else was always standing in the way of their happily ever after. There is a whole treasure trove of untold stories waiting to be explored there. But as they say, timing is absolutely everything, and right now, Elizabeth's dance card is looking mighty full. She has found herself tangled up with Rick Lansing again, and Rick Hurst always brings that charming, irresistible trouble to the screen. And if that wasn't enough drama, you have Dante Falconeri, played by the wonderful Dominic Zamprogna, standing quietly in the wings, just waiting for his moment. With all that traffic around Elizabeth's heart, it doesn't look like there is any room for Jason to pull into the driveway. But hold on to your hats, friends, because here is a piece of news that really got me sitting up straight in my chair. What about Serena Baldwin? Now, that is a name we haven't heard in a hot minute. Word on the street is that she is making her way back to Port Charles, and they have brought in the lovely Kelly Kruger from The Young and the Restless to play the part. I absolutely love it when a fresh face comes to town, or in this case, a familiar name with a brand new energy. A recast always shakes things up in the best way possible, bringing a whole new set of exciting possibilities and sparking a wildfire of speculation among us longtime viewers who love a good twist. Just think about the absolute genetic goldmine Serena's working with. She is the daughter of Scott Baldwin, which means she has got to have a mile-wide streak of cunning and a silver tongue. Kin Shriner has made Scotty a lovable, scheming rascal for years, and you just know he passed some of that mischief down to his little girl. Then you factor in her adoptive mother, Lucy Coe. Lynn Herring is a true force of nature, and Lucy's fierce, take-no-prisoners attitude is bound to have rubbed off on Serena over the years. If she comes to town armed with Scott's trickery and Lucy's unyielding fire, she is going to be an absolute tornado blowing through the quiet streets of Port Charles. But let's be real with each other, my friends. As much as we love seeing Jason be a good, attentive dad, a soap opera without romance is like a hot dog without mustard. It's just missing that extra spicy kick. We tune in every single day for the juicy drama, the stolen glances, the passionate kisses in the rain, and the thrilling love stories that make our hearts flutter. Seeing Jason Morgan sitting at home doing jigsaw puzzles every night isn't going to keep us glued to our television screens. We want to see him fight for love, whether it is a surprising new flame with Serena, a nostalgic reunion with Elizabeth, or someone else entirely. We want the fireworks. So let's keep our eyes peeled and our hearts open, because in Port Charles, love is always just around the corner. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.